The Old Man River is behind me, and as you can see, water levels are fairly high, but the City of Lethbridge has not declared a state of emergency for the city. We spoke with Fire Chief Brian Cornforth on the high water advisory for the river.
We've had our update from the River Forecast Center, and we're looking at a peak flow of 1,800 cubic meters a second, which we'll see come through early Friday morning. So this is very good news. The moisture that we anticipated from the storm and the forecast yesterday, if it holds for the weather for the next 12 hours, we'll see less rain, and that's what's changed in our calculations from the River Forecast Center. That's given us that window where we've seen the flow drastically reduce. So this is a very positive thing. We've continued to stabilize everything and maintain our sandbagging operations in place in the river valley. So we're prepared if the weather changes, but at this time it's very positive news. We've just stabilized our operations, if you will.
Mayor Chris Spearman says some homes in our city have been affected by the heavy rainfall.
To our relief, we didn't get as much rain as we thought. The river has been slowly building, but not as quickly as we thought, so that's all good news. We did have about 250 homes that were affected by overland flooding due to the rainfall last night. So we have people with flooded basements, and we'd ask them to contact their insurance companies first to take pictures of any damage, keep receipts of the damage that any expenses they may have incurred.
The County of Lethbridge has seen more significant flooding than urban areas.
We are faced with some very serious overland flooding, especially south of Highway 3 and south of the Old Man River. Not to say that there hasn't been some areas in the north part of the county that have the same issues, but we do have roads that are washed out. We do have lots of water that's just gone over top of the drainage ditches and is running into the fields and into feedlots and houses and everything. So we are in for a lot of work ahead of us, and we're not out of the woodwork by any means. As long as this weather holds like it is now, hopefully it won't get any worse than it is.
County Reeve Lauren Hickey adds the flooding could have a significant economic impact on the county.
Crop will survive for a couple of days underwater, but 2 to 3 days is about its life expectancy. After that, it simply will just rot, and that will be lost acreages. So there certainly will be a decline in your yields.
Alberta Health Services is advising residents that southern Alberta surface water has been contaminated due to heavy rainfalls. This could impact drinking water. Dr. Vivian Satorp says this is mostly a concern for rural areas.
Surface water can be contaminated with things like chemicals, pesticides, all those kinds of things, but as well as biological contaminants such as viruses, bacteria, and parasites. This could impact any open water systems such as irrigation canals, rivers, irrigation lakes, in addition to individuals' private water systems. And this last point is specifically for people living in rural locations. So people who do not receive treated water. People can have contamination of their cisterns, through even in their wells, and even dugouts. Some people who have dugout water which comes directly from the rivers. So the recommendation is for individuals with private drinking water systems to ensure that there is adequate disinfection and filtration of that water before consumption.
No boil water orders have been issued for the City of Lethbridge or surrounding area, but Dr. Vivian Satorp says even after water levels have decreased, it's still unsafe to play or swim in the water.
The weekend was hopefully potentially getting warmer weather, and again at that point we still request people to be careful in the open water systems such as swimming in irrigation canals or in Park Lake or one of these types of areas which is people sort of will use for recreational purposes. Once the floodwaters recede, as per our usual process, public health does go and test the waters in designated swimming areas, and we'll have signs up whether or not to swim there or not. And at this point, we're just requesting individuals to not have recreational activity in these open water systems.
For updates, visit the City of Lethbridge's Twitter and Facebook page or their website. As well, make sure to check out albertahealthservices.com for updates on water advisories.